with him as a non-runner.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of ability, this horse, and he only just got time to make it, to show it at Lingfield when seen in December. Came back out more recently and refused. It was just in a really bad mood throughout. Now, he looked in a fairly decent nick in the paddock, and they went down early. There he is. He's just being nursed into the stalls by Danny Muscat. He's been a tricky customer in all 3 racecourse appearances, but he's got the ability.
Oh, he has, yeah. I think
he's got his £7 in position here is making things tough. But he's just standing there quite quietly. But he might have other plans, mightn't he? The way he just looked at us there with that beady eye. You think I'm going to do it all nicely today? Well, we'll see in a minute. They're just going to edge the hood off and see whether they can just finesse him into the stalls.
You have City Cyclone, Going to the Moon, Artisan, all marks in the low 70s to give a penalty away to. So it's not insurmountable form-wise if he's out of bed the right side.
Absolutely, I would say so. Going to the Moon was, I think, didn't look great in the paddock. Was a bit nodding on his foreleg. Something I didn't like. He's been gelded since we last saw him in a Haydock soft ground race where he led and didn't get home. I think he'd certainly need a lot more than that to win this. But City Cyclone showed a bit of knee action in that race when we last saw him at Lingfield on his comeback. He's the big horse with the white face, big gelding chestnut with a white face, and an attractive, big, strong horse who went out in front at Lingfield and maybe rather suffered a little bit from sticking against the rail, which isn't always advantageous around that track. I think there'll be a bit of improvement to come from him. He's definitely a live danger to Tempered Soul, who's on the slide at the moment.
Artisan 6-1. It was a messy race. He was wide the first bend.
Yeah.
And he just looked slow, I thought.
Nearly a throwaway run. But he's slow, but he will stay. I mean, that's the thing in his favour. So you'd expect Franny Norton to make plenty of use of him.
It was him and Going to the Moon would probably ensure it be evenly run.
And City Cyclone made the running last time as well.
Jump out the Thog, 9-1.
We didn't really speak about Call Everyone You Know because she was very late into the paddock. And she looked fit, totally different sort of cityscape than City Cyclone. She's quite finely made. And she run pretty well on both her outings at 2. And she does look as though she may be better in a low-grade handicap, but she's certainly not out of it on the figures. And she's got Stefano Kirky taking over in the saddle from a jockey, Davison de Barros, who hasn't had a lot of success in this country.
OK, stall 2. She will go forward 2 as Maso Bassi is in, and he really could do with the others loading fairly quickly now and getting away.
Yeah, he might be all right once he's in. It was just getting him in was the problem.
He's doing a bit of rough in there.
Yeah, maybe. But the newcomer Thorg's come in for a little bit of support. Looked really well. Lovely looking filly, daughter of Golden Horn, and no doubt we'll be told that Golden Horn. We're normally told Golden Horn won here on his racecourse debut somewhere during the afternoon. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get there first and say Golden Horn won on his debut here before winning the Derby.
Yeah. All right, last couple go forward. There's Artisan to go into stall 5 for Franny Norton and Charlie Johnson. Let's get back to Tim and get the call for a second.
Thanks, Niall. Yeah, just keeping a very close eye on Maso Basti. Stall's handler is in with him at the moment. So last one going in. Looks like we're just about ready. They're off. Maso Basti got away very nicely indeed for this Racing TV Profits return to Racing Restricted Novice Stakes. Going to the Moon and City Cyclone now getting to the front. Maso Basti's in 3rd position, being reined back. He's got Tempered Soul on the inside, who's a bit keen early on. Then comes Artisan, also keen in the black and orange, Call Everyone You Know. Moving into 5th position at the back of the field is the newcomer Thorg, who's about 6 lengths behind them. So well grouped, and leading is City Cyclone by half a length to Going to the Moon in 2nd place. The maroon and yellow hoop jacket of Tempered Soul, William Buick, sits in 3rd position. Maso Basti, the Lingfield winner, comes next in the yellow sleeves and cap with the red sash. Then comes Call Everyone You Know on the inside of the blue with the light green epaulets, Artisan, and the back marker is Thorg, but well in touch as they continue down the far side. City Cyclone, Richard Kingscote has the lead. From Going to the Moon, who's a little bit wider, the black sleeves of the yellow stars. On the inside is Tempered Soul and William Buick, followed by Masso Basti, Daniel Muscat as they race around the bend. Then comes Call Everyone You Know. Artisan just showing a bit of greenness around that turn and also losing its position, being passed by Thorg now and Andret Seni. So making their turn for home inside the final 5 furlongs. City Cyclone leading, with Going to the Moon about half a length down in second place. Then comes Tempered Soul. Masso Basti comes next. Right up against the rail is Call Everyone You Know, and Thorg, and being virtually pulled up is Artisan, who's completely tailed off as they make their way down to the final 3 furlongs. City Cyclone with Going to the Moon up sides. Tempered Soul in behind in a bit of a pocket with Masso Basti on that one's outside as they now head to the final 2.5 furlongs. City Cyclone with Going to the Moon. Tempered Soul going well but needs a gap to appear. Masso Basti followed by Thorg, and then comes Call Everyone You Know. Still in front, City Cyclone, but Masso Basti coming through a bit short of room there was Going to the Moon, and right up against the rail is Tempered Soul, who's got a couple of lengths to find, and Masso Basti has got to the front now, going on from City Cyclone, but here comes Tempered Soul now beginning to find stride as they head down to the final half furlong. Masso Basti being taken on by Tempered Soul. Masso Basti is trying to rally and is doing so now, and Masso Basti gets back on top close home, and I think just about gets there to beat Tempered Soul. They finish clear as City Cyclone and Going to the Moon.
Masso Basti's first past the post for James Fanshawe and Danny Muscat beats Tempered Soul for George Boyd and William Buick, and City Cyclone back in third for Daniel Kubler and Richard Kingscote. Stuart will have a long look at this. Ultimately, a messy race.
There was a mess, and William Buick got himself boxed in, and Danny Muscat was trying to keep him in most of the way up the straight, and he did so. But then his horse was wandering and may just have interfered with Tempered Soul. Masso Basti. We'll see better from this head on. I think it will be a shame if the winner gets thrown out, because the second horse had every chance. Indeed, he got to the front, didn't he? But Masso Basti was just dossing in front. He's a very talented horse, isn't he? But he's got to put everything toward in the right direction. He's still not doing that. I think he's
won by a head.
Fine from that.
Yeah, I don't think they'll turn this.
No, he jumped well, the winner.
He jumped very well,
just
nearly too well.
back.
Yeah,
he didn't want to be in front.
Artisan was pulled up fairly sharply. I hope he's okay.
I hope he's all right, because he didn't go well at all, did he?
No, he's never really happy.
But it was City Cyclone who led at not a great pace after being a little bit slowly away after the removal of the blindfold. But it did get to the front, City Cyclone, from Going to the Moon, who moved quite threateningly on the home turn but petered out. James Fanshawe, he's wearing a relieved look, I think.
Do we squash anyone now or not?
We think
he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Looks like he makes you work for your cause.
He does. He's got plenty of talent, but he's quite quirky, but he battled really well today.
We'll let you speak to Daddy. We might catch up with you in a minute. That's James Fanshawe going to welcome his winner in.
I think he summed it up well, really, didn't he? He's a quirky horse, and the quirks will get... They're certainly better.
It's how we roll for Henry Oliver. Last seen when 10th of 13 behind Pack Army on the seasonal return, so may well strip fitter for this particular contest. Took a couple of races to come to hand last season as well. That's a nice view of the drop down, and if we went round the corner you would see how that descent increases once the racecourse extends beyond a mile down to a mile and a half. Going at the front of that was Harbour Project, who has also won once, has largely been campaigned on the all-weather. It was the all-weather in which he gained that success, and was behind what is one of the key lines of form, Seattle King, beating, amongst others, Juno-esque in a victory here over 10 furlongs. So let's deal with that form line whilst we're talking about it. Seattle King in the black colours. Seattle King, only previous visit here was that victory. It came off 52, only £2 higher. Came from the back of the field, coming down the centre, hung left towards the inside rail. It was Juno-esque's first start of the campaign, made the running and dropped out. So if she can strip fitter, there are the two horses, Seattle King on the right, Juno-esque white nose just disappearing out of shot on the left. But Juno-esque, who is a doughty performer around here, mark of 53, which is below the last 4 victories here, and considerably below the peak of 60. So Juno-esque, she's 9 years of age now, but I certainly think you can suggest that she'd have come on for that run last time. And she probably didn't have the chance. So she's at the front there with Seattle King. Then you've got Cliffs of Malta in the two-tone blue, Iconic Project in the maroon. We haven't spoken about Miss Malou. Won't take very long, I don't think. None from 7 starts so far. Hasn't shown anything. Can be a little bit keen on occasions. So Miss Malou steps up in trip. Has been mixing trips, really. 10 furlongs, 12 furlongs, then a mile, and now back up to 12 this afternoon. You might get a better idea of the descent I was talking about from this camera angle, the way the ground falls away. It does foreshorten it slightly because this camera is positioned only about a furlong or so from the starting point. And they continue to climb uphill once they pass it as well. Black colours with the lilac sleeves. It's How We Roll, who we mentioned on the way down. I mentioned the orange colours of Urban Forest yet. A maiden after 18 starts. There are a couple here that have not extended losing sequences. Ran here 4th of 9 last time. So runners arriving down at the start. Let's update you with the betting market, which has Cliffs of Malta still just favoured at 11-4, 3-1 for Seattle King, 6 is now for Cloudy Rose, and 7's Juno-esque, 17-2 for Global Wonder, 17-2 Urban Forest, Iconic Mover 12s, 14's the rest. Pretty static. There are a few price changes, but none recently as Cliffs of Malta clings on to favouritism. A couple of 70s should mention. Let's start with Global Wonder. Global Wonder, who carries top weight here, Aidan Brooks claiming the £5. Global Wonder has been successful 4 times in all, including at distances up to 2 miles. Marks up to 66 in the old days on the all-weather. As regards the turf sole victory, 50 here at Brighton on soft ground back in 2021. And Cloudy Rose, who's another long-standing maiden, placed on 3 of 19 starts. John Berry's horses are running well. It wouldn't surprise me if she ran okay. Obviously, the yard associated with previous course specialists here. Cloudy Rose, yet another one who's looking to get off the mark, as I say, after having plenty of racecourse starts. The exception to the rule really is being Juno-esque with her Brighton record. So she's on the right-hand side. Miss Malou in the pink jacket, just having the girths adjusted. Urban Forest in the orange colours with those pink stripes on the sleeves in the background there. They're the 3 you can make out plainly from the stalls, when the stalls extend. Juno-esque likely to go from the front. See a few more in the background there. That's Harbour Project in the red and blue. Seattle King in the black colours, who, as I say, came from off the pace when running down Juno-esque last time. Loading up, getting underway with Cloudy Rose having the blindfold on going into stall 2. So Cloudy Rose is the first to go into the stalls, swiftly followed by Iconic Mover as the loading process gets underway. Urban Forest is the third one to be installed, swiftly followed by Juno-esque into the inside stall, stall number 1. Halfway through loading now. Miss Malou has gone forward, waiting for Seattle King and Global Wonder. They look as if they could be just about the last 2. There's one more stall that's empty. It's How We Roll has yet to go forward as well. So 3 left to go. It's How We Roll into stall 6. Stall 8 houses Global Wonder. Seattle King will be the last here. All in. Thanks, Luke. All set. Off and racing. Juno-esque just hunted up on the inside, the yellow jacket, to try and move forward. Seattle King is wider out, and also wider out is Cliffs of Malta. But Juno-esque settles down with the lead. Iconic Mover in the maroon colours and Urban Forest in the orange are amongst those that are handy. Cliffs of Malta from that wide-out gate is continuing to press on and is moving through to dispute second place. 5th belongs to Miss Malou at this early stage as they continue the climb uphill. Seattle King settles on the outside of Cloudy Rose with Global Wonder in company with It's How We Roll and also Harbour Project held up towards the back. So they've climbed through the first 2 furlongs. Juno-esque, who knows her way round here blindfold, has the advantage from in second place. We have Cliffs of Malta with Urban Forest in 3rd and Iconic Mover in 4th place. 2 lengths to Miss Malou, who's in the pink jacket as they continue their progress. Inside now the final 9 furlongs. Seattle King is in midfield on the outside of Cloudy Rose. Amongst the back markers early on, the likes of Global Wonder on the outside of Harbour Project, and they're just preceded by It's How We Roll. So now they're beginning to run downhill, and Juno-esque heads towards cutting off the corner, still with the lead from Cliffs of Malta in second. Urban Forest races in third with Iconic Mover, and Seattle King just moving a little closer in midfield. The blinkered head, black colours with the red armlets on the outside of Miss Malou. Then Cloudy Rose, It's How We Roll, Global Wonder, and Harbour Project at the back. So Juno-esque past halfway. Making the journey now uphill towards the final five. Cliffs of Malta in second. Urban Forest just trying to get a little closer on the inside in the orange jacket as they meet now the left-hand turn. Fourth place for Iconic Mover just ahead of Miss Malou. Seattle King is in sixth place as the leaders now make their turn and run downhill. So a bit of pressure applied by Urban Forest to Juno-esque with Cliffs of Malta. They've gone 3 lengths clear from Iconic Mover, who shows in fourth. Seattle King moving towards the centre of the racecourse. Then It's How We Roll, Cloudy Rose, Harbour Project, and work to do for Global Wonder. Juno-esque heads into the dip with 2.5 to travel. Cliffs of Malta right down the outside. Seattle King in the black colours and the claret colours of Iconic Mover. Towards the inside, still there, the orange colours of Urban Forest, and changing course, Cloudy Rose. Cliffs of Malta with, on the outside, Iconic Mover. Towards the inside, Cloudy Rose continues to stay on as they make their way now down inside the final furlong. In the centre, Cliffs of Malta. Far side, Cloudy Rose. Still coming here, Seattle King right up the near side with Iconic Mover. Cliffs of Malta and Cloudy Rose just pokes the nose in front on the right towards the line. Cloudy Rose is going to have her day. Cloudy Rose home in front for Adam Farrar and John Berry. Breaks her maiden at last. Cliffs of Malta in second. They pulled away from Iconic Mover. Seattle King flattened out late. Global Wonder passed a few late in the day.
Next one to go down, riding for Richard Spencer. The horse in shot at the moment, Bunker Bay, Neil Cullen just cutting the leg up in the blue colours with the red and light blue hoop for trainer William Knight, number 2. Just in front of him in the grey and pink colours, we've got Saka, Kieran Schumacher riding for trainer Ed Dunlop. So the 7 runners making their way from the parade ring down round the bend towards the 1.5-mile start at the entrance to the back straight. So there they go, cantering down. Let's check out the betting here. Number 2, Bunker Bay is favourite at 5-2. The Fast and the Curious, 11-4. Your Kindness is 9-2. Placated, 6-1. Franco Grasso, 15-2. Saka, 8-1. And Abraj is the outsider, just gone 28-1. Horses arriving at the start. Bunker Bay trading favourite just at 5-2. So the horses arriving at the start for our next race, which is over 1.5 miles, 7 runners, and Bunker Bay is the favourite at 5-2. The Fast and the Curious 11-4. That's been backed. 9-2. Your Kindness. a 6-1 placated, 15-2, a 6-1 placated, 8-1 Saka, Franco Grasso 8-1, and Abrage 28-1. So the Fast and the Curious now favourite at 5-2. But here's Bunker Bay. He was placed last season, first run this season for trainer William Knight. Beautifully bred. He's by that great horse, Australia. So he's 5-2 at the moment. The Fast and the Curious is next best at 11-4. And he won on the all-weather this winter. So he'll certainly be fit enough. And he's ridden by Oisin Murphy, who had the first winner today. Horse I give a great chance to is Your Kindness. Joe Fanning's come down for one ride today for trainer Charlie Johnson. He was second at Beverley on his reappearance. I think he's got a great chance in the white with the green spots. Just getting resettled again is Placated down at the start. Thorhammer Hansen just helping the starting stall handlers with Placated. So just the 7 runners here. So Bunker Bay 5-2, the Fast and the Curious 11-4. But I think Your Kindness is good value at 9-2. One horse just getting resaddled down at the start is Placated. Thorhammer Hansen just helping the starting stall handler get the saddle adjusted. And once he's back in the plate, we'll be loading up for the Moulton Nurseries. Any more bets? Bunker Bay 5-2. Fast and the Curious 11-4. Your Kindness is 9-2. Okay, let's load him up. Being led forward, 7 runners to the starting stalls. In the blue colours, Bunker Bay, Neil Callan going into stall 5. Already into stall 1 is Placated. Thorhammer Hansen, the first 2 in. Next one to go in the white and green spot, Your Kindness. Joe Fanning's only ride today. In the grey and pink colours, Saka, Kieran Schumacher going into stall 7. 3 to go. Cheek pieces of Abrage, Ray Dawson going into stall 2. Good afternoon. Isn't it nice, the sunshine? A bit different from last week when we were here. Okay, stand by. Just about ready. One more to be put in. That's going to be Franco Grasso and Jack Mitchell into stall 6. This is the Moulton Nurseries handicap. 7 runners, 1.5 miles, and they're off. So here we go. The entrance, the back straight, right down the back straight they go. Towards the right, Placated got a good start, but here comes Abrage and the cheek pieces to take it up. Your Kindness is second. Third on the far side is Placated. In the blue colours, we've got Bunker Bay. On the wide outside, here comes Saka in the grey colours with a pink cap. Tracking this is Franco Grasso. And the back marker is the Fast and the Curious. So coming towards the end of the first quarter mile, 1.25 miles left to run in the Moulton Nurseries. And on the white colours, possibly Your Kindness, possibly just the leader. On the inside with the cheek pieces, that is Abrage. And on the wide outside, Saka has come to almost join them, running third at this stage. Fourth in the blue colours with a white cap, that's Bunker Bay. Tracking this one is Franco Grasso. Behind this on the inside in the red and green, we've got Placated and held up for hopefully a late run, the Fast and the Curious. Down the far side they go with just over 6 furlongs left to run. And Your Kindness, Joe Fanning, takes it up as they go towards the bend. On the inside, a barrage with the cheek pieces. On the outside, the pink cap of Saka. Then behind these in the blue colours, Bunker Bay. Then the red colours and green colours are Placated. Behind Placated comes Franco Grasso, and still the Fast and the Curious is the back marker. So back towards us with just over half a mile left to run. And on the outside, it's Your Kindness. On the inside, we've got a barrage in the cheek pieces. Running third in the blue colours, that's Bunker Bay, and the red colours on the inside, that's Placated. Then behind this, we got Franco Grasso, then Saka a little bit outpaced, and then the Fast and the Curious. So here they come. Just over 3 furlongs left to run. And Your Kindness comes through smoothly to take it up. In second place is Bunker Bay. Third on the far side is Placated. Then making ground in fourth, going well, is Franco Grasso. On the extreme right, the Fast and the Curious is asked to improve. Coming down towards the final 2 furlongs. Your Kindness in the white and green still has the lead. On the left, in the blue colours, that's Bunker Bay. On the right, in the red colours, Placated. On the extreme right, here comes the Fast and the Curious. And now on the extreme left, Franco Grasso. There's 5 virtually in line. Here they come now with a furlong and a half left to run. And Bunker Bay just possibly the leader. But on this side, Franco Grasso is coming with a good run. It's Bunker Bay, Neil Callan on the far side. This side, we've got Franco Grasso and Jack Mitchell. It's between these two. They settle down to battle it out. Franco Grasso just getting his head in front where it matters. It's going to be close. That's a photo. Wow, that is close. Wow. They came together at the line. That is one for the judge.
Sisyphus Strength, who's weaved her way through to get off the mark. Eleanor Cross, Shining Jewel.
And the leader's Creme de Cacao out in front by length and a half. Pulled out now for a run. Class Member, the favourite, who's now just trying to have to get going towards the centre of the track. Head of Widgey's early exertions have come to naught. Now staying on from the back is Flame of Kodiak. But it's Creme de Cacao who grabbed initiative early in this race, who's scooting away from them in the closing stages. Creme de Cacao in the end an easy winner. Risotto got second.
Still travels full of promise. They race inside the final furlong and a half. Creme Chantilly, now Ryan Moore goes for home. About a length and a half in front from Waiting All Night. Native Beach is trying to get organised. Sigmund is running well down the wide outside, but the filly's got this one. It's Creme Chantilly under Ryan Moore. Creme Chantilly the winner. Home in second was Native Beach.
East runners short of room and look now switching towards the far side across Shining Jewel, who was squeezed up down the outside. Eleanor Cross and Run Simba behind them. Inside the furlong, Sisyphus Strength has hit the front on the far side from Alba Longa, Zaga, Eleanor Cross, Shining Jewel all in a heap in behind, but it's Sisyphus Strength who's weaved her way through to get off the mark. Eleanor Cross, Shining Jewel.
And the leader's Creme de Cacao out in front by length and a half. Pulled out now for a run. Class Member, the favourite, who's now just trying to have to get going towards the centre of the track. Head of Widgey's early exertions have come to naught. Now staying on from the back is Flame of Kodiak. But it's Creme de Cacao who grabbed initiative early in this race, who's scooting away from them in the closing stages. Creme de Cacao in the end an easy winner. Risotto got second.
Still travels full of promise. They race inside the final furlong and a half. Creme Chantilly, now Ryan Moore goes for home. About a length and a half in front from Waiting All Night. Native Beach is trying to get organised. Sigmund is running well down the wide outside, but the filly's got this one. It's Creme Chantilly under Ryan Moore. Creme Chantilly the winner. Home in second was Native Beach.
These runners short of room, and look now switching towards the far side across Shining Jewel, who was squeezed up down the outside. Eleanor Cross and Run Simba behind.
Yeah, it won't be long until they're heading down to post for this at 3:10 contest, a mile and a half, a furlong the trip. Now, Stu's inquiry is concluded, result stands. Master Basti 7-2, beats Tempered Soul 7-4 favourite. There was a head between them and a very slow time of 2 minutes 19.58. Okay, let's bring you the market then for this 3:10. Mile and a half furlong Phillies handicap for 3-year-olds. It's very competitive, really. 6-5. Mexicali Rose, quite strong in the market currently. Second in is Creme Chantilly 6-1, also 6-1 Eurythmical. Zarga 7s, it is 12-1 Flame of Kodiak. 00 16s and 16s Maggie's Way. Nuthatches 18s, 22-1 Star Child. Enola Grey 28s and 66-1 Congruent. Non-runners 3, 6 and 8, 11 go. 6-5 Mexicali Rose at the head of the market.
And takes a big chunk out of the market. 6-5 for If Beckett and Ross Orion.
Yeah, I thought she was the obvious favourite. She is a very short price now, but I wouldn't really want to oppose her. I was impressed with her both physically and in the race at Leicester. I thought it was desperate ground, probably more testing than it is today, and it is testing today. It's more holding today, I suppose, but she went through it really well, and in the end, she probably just struck for home a little bit too soon. That was over 7. I don't think there'll be any problem with her getting the 8th furlong. But, of course, there has to be a slight doubt because it's a different track, round a bend rather than a straight, and different course, different distance. So there's enough to say that 6-5 is a short enough price, even though I think she's certainly the most likely winner.
Creme Chantilly is second in. Stall 8 for Michael Bell. Champion jockey William Buick on board.
Yeah, Michael Bell always worth looking at when they're in their first handicap, although this one has already shown her hand to an extent. A good effort at Salisbury. When I particularly liked her that day, I was working that day, I really thought she looked spot on for that run and got beaten by a newcomer of George Bowie's, I think, ridden by William Buick. Now, Buick's on today. It was Ryan Moore who got the job done in the Chelmsford race, where she just had her own way out in front, really. She'll probably be ridden slightly differently today, I would think, but she can make the running if necessary. Family who, most of them have gone really well on soft ground as well. Her sister was a good full sister, good performer on the ground.
Okay, you
look very fit.
Eurythmical was just a little bit on her toes. One of 2 runners in the race for Kevin Phillip at the 4.
Yeah, she does a few things wrong. She tends to hang left, and she ended up right on the far side of the course last time on the inner track. They're on the outer track today, but that is Congruent, her stablemate, the Eurythmical's stablemate, she was spinning around a bit in the paddock as well. She's probably still a bit green. But back to Eurythmical, tends to hang to her left. There she is on the right-hand side of the picture. She probably ended up too far to the far side last time, but it was a decent effort. The second horse has run very well since, another one of Michael Bell's, and Eurythmical, who came from last to get into third, clearly has the stamina for this trip.
Okay. Flame of Kodiak's turn to.
Yeah, they put the red hood on her, and she wore it when she was successful at Wolverhampton, but once they've taken it off at the start, she now has the full hood back on. So they don't want her to see very much if they wanted to get into the stalls.
Okay. They're all just taking a turn at misbehaving or making the stall handlers work for their money. Any of the bigger prices? 00, Nuthatch, 20s?
Well, 00 is an interesting one from a point of view of change of stable. Kevin Stock was quite complimentary about her chances. her form of one of her runs was very good when she ran with horses like Gincident and Kessar Power, and they've both upheld that form. And she was thought good enough to run in the Albany, even though she finished last early on in June at Royal Ascot. So she was well thought of in her previous stable, but they took her out because of the ground, good to soft ground on one occasion. And the jockey reported, or the connections reported, she didn't stay the extended mile at Wolverhampton last time. I think she probably went too fast then anyway, so that was an excuse that only held a certain amount of water, I would reckon.
Stall 11's okay, isn't it? It's not 7, it's a mile, which gives you a bit more time.
Yeah. It's not a disaster. No. Plenty of pace. Star Child, perhaps Creme Chantilly, Maggie's Way. They've all made the running in the past.
Okay, looks like the last one will be Star Child for Archie Watson and Holly Doyle. So let's get back up to Tim and get the call.
Yeah, thanks, Noel. Last one going in. So Star Child goes in. They're off. Flame of Kodiak, a little bit slow into stride for the follow at Racing TV on Twitter, Fillies Handicap. Zaga has been reined right back, Arithmical a little bit slow into stride, as well as Nuthatch, as Star Child is leading. Half a length clear to Enola Gray in second. Looking for cover in the turquoise jacket, Maggie's Way out wider. Creme Chantilly in the star jacket in behind. Flame of Kodiak's recovered from the tardy beginning into midfield, right up against the inside, trying to get closer, just in behind Creme Chantilly. Then midfield in the red is Mexicali Rose, looking for a little bit of room. Eurythmical out wider with the cheek pieces, followed by the purple of Double O as they race around the bend here. Congruent and the white cap is towards the back of the field as they make their journey towards the home straight. The back marker remains Zaga, just in behind Nuthatch. So Star Child leading under Holly Doyle to Enola Gray in second. Creme Chantilly is in third position, followed by Maggie's Way and James Doyle. Right up against the rail, Flame of Kodiak. Eurythmical Andret Seni out to the left as we look's got a good position. Mexicali Rose in the red jacket. Ross Orion out to the left, Double O with Congruent in behind that, Danny Muscat. Then in behind, pushed along is Nuthatch, and the back marker is the grey Zaga. Pushed along Star Child, taken on by Enola Gray. Maggie's Way is right there. Creme Chantilly still travelling quite well. Eurythmical's under pressure. Mexicali Rose looking for a gap, tries to stay on. Zaga's making some headway from the back as they head inside the two then. Maggie's Way is going quite well. Upsides Enola Gray. Star Child by the rail. Mexicali Rose, Creme Chantilly, Eurythmical. Zaga trying to get going in behind runners, but it's Maggie's Way who's gone for home. Maggie's Way then has got about a length and a half clear. Being chased now by Mexicali Rose, has got a length to find, and Maggie's Way is finding plenty. Maggie's Way for James Doyle runs out a comfortable winner. Mexicali Rose was second. Lots of late headway by Zaga for third, and then came Eurythmical.
James Doyle on the mark. He's got a chance at a feature with Misty Dancer. Nottinghamshire Oaks in about an hour's time, but he's won here in Maggie's Way, trained by William Muir and Chris Grassick. Beats the favourite, Mexicali Rose in second for Rafe Becken and Ross Orion. And Zarga back in third for Sir Michael Stipe and Richard Kingscote.
Yeah, she's settled much better than she had in one or two of her races last year. The final run at Chelmsford was ruined by the draw for her, really. And she was very, very comfortable throughout the race, sitting just behind the pace and quickening up when James asked her, unlike the runner-up Mexicali Rose, who couldn't get going quickly enough. And although she's run well, Mexicali Rose, I think she showed all the reasons why 6 to 5 was a very short price to be taking. But the winner, very professional and has done it in decent style. The yard for a yard who generally was pretty quiet. They were pretty quiet through the winter. This will have pleased them no end.
Yeah, for sure. Here's Pricked. Set in a paddock sequence. Cityscape, daughter of Cityscape. James knows all about. Watch it back in the stalls. A slowly and awkward way was Flame of Kodiak.
Yeah, she was in a bad mood at the start, wasn't she? Took a long time getting her in, and took a long time getting her out. And the winner just settled behind the pace set by Star Child and Enola Gray, who sat doing
Genie. Close to the off is the one that's been trimmed a point in company with 3 Priests and Pure Gold 14s into 12s as well. There is Whisper. Main hope for Whisper is the fact it's run here. 4 victories from 5 career appearances at Brighton. Tended to be well in the market. Went on a little bit of a roll last year, winning 4 races in all, 3 of them here. Fast ground and soft ground, so there's not too much concern there. And second to Bear Away, last run of the season at Windsor. 3 Priests in the foreground, set with a fair task, I thought, last time when coming home behind Queen of Ipanema. Kept on from the back of the field, had previously won at Bath on firm ground. Possibly wouldn't want it too soft. And it's 3 Priests. Rich, who's been quite